Hey guys, we are in our free online coaching classes for the JAM examination, and this video will be the lecture 6 on this series. And the topic is that origin of fold, and the book which I referred is the Structural Geology by Billings. And this heading is in the third topic, that is the Structural Geology. Welcome to my channel Success Guru and myself Panchanadam, and let's get into the topic, that is the fold origin. Actually, in general, there are three possible mechanisms for the formation of folding, and they are the flexural fold, the shear fold, and flow fold. We will start by saying one after other. Let us start with the first heading, that is the flexural folding. That is the flexure fold. When there is a horizontally stratified strata, that is a sedimentary basin, when the forces acting parallel, that is layer parallel compression is taking place, a flexural fold is formed. And actually the flexural fold is referred as the true folding because it is the actual bending of rocks due to the compressional forces, and this compressional force is parallel acting parallel to the bending plane. And when a rock is sufficiently plastic, what happens, the convex side of the rock will be lengthened and thinned, whereas the concave side will be shortened and thick. So let us take an example of an anticline. So this is an open fold, that would be an anticline. So the forces acting on a topmost layer, that is the convex side, is stretching away from one another, right? So what happens, the bed which is in the topmost, that is in the convex side, is stretched, and that leads to the thinning of the rock formation, whereas the rock in the bottom side and the forces acting towards each other, and that leads to the thickening of the rock formation. So this is how a plastic rock will behave during flexural fold. Okay, and you can classify the rock mechanically into two, that is the competent rock and the incompetent rock. And the competency can be explained as the resistance of rock for the deformation. So if a rock get deformed just by applying pressure, then it could be an incompetent rock. If a rock it can sustain a large amount of pressure, then it can be classified as a competent rock. And a very good example is that the quartzite is a competent rock, whereas the shale is an incompetent rock. And during folding of a sedimentary rock, if there are both competent and incompetent rock on those region, and during flexural fold, what happens? The competent rock will bend and buckle due to the compressional force, whereas the incompetent rock behave more passively, and that simply leads to the sliding of beds past one another. And this sliding of beds past one another leads to the subdivision of flexural fold, thus, that is the flexural slip fold. And here is an example, that is when considering two adjacent beds, if the upper one moves away from the synclinal axis, so this is a syncline, so this will be the synclinal axis, and the upper one moving away from the synclinal axis, and the lower one is tending to move towards the synclinal axis. And such a type of folding is sometimes referred as the flexural slip fold, which is a subdivision in the flexural folding. Okay. So this is what a flexural fold and a subdivision of flexural slip fold it is. I think you are clear, right? We will see it on the last once again. And the next one is the shear folding. The shear folding is also known as the slip folding, resulting from the minute displacement along closely spaced fractures. So in a shear folding, what happens? There are displacements that is along the fracture plane. And there are a few steps involved in the shear folding. The first one is there are horizontal strata and are broken into blocks by fractures that dip at 60 degree in the west. So the figure A shows an setup which is explained here. That is the horizontal. This is an horizontal strata, and this has been fractured in 60 degree, that is dipping in the west side. Okay. The second step is that the blocks tend to move. When there is a force acting from down towards up in this direction, what happens? The first one and the 11th one will not move. And the central part, there is a sixth block, has moved further longer distance, right? And the other parts have moved comparatively lesser than the sixth, right? So this is how the movement is taking place. That is what we have mentioned, that is slipping. And the third one is that the beds due to the friction tend to parallel the fracture. So due to the frictional force, what happens, these beds which are actually horizontal in the primary stage, due to friction it tends to get parallel to the fracture. So this is how it is bending here. And in a simple case, what happens, you can simply recognize the fracture plane, and that is usually cleavage. And if this rock is recrystallized in later stage, what happens, this fracture plane may disappear, and by this way also a fold can be formed. And such an origin of fold is called as shear folding. Okay, so first thing what we see, the layer parallel compression. Here the layer perpendicular compression, that is perpendicular force is acting, right? So initially it was a horizontal formation, and due to fracturing and displacement along the fracture plane, it and due to the frictional forces, it tend to bend parallel to the fracture plane. And if recrystallization takes place, then this the fracture plane will be disappeared, and you can simply see a fold, that is an anticline here. So such an origin is called as shear fold. Okay. And remember, it is evident that the shear folding beds may get thinner but never get thicker. In initials, that is the flexure fold, we saw the bed may thickening and thinning according to the position, that is a concave side or convex side, right? But in a shear folding, there is only thickening of beds and there is no thinning of beds, because only the length got increased, because earlier it is x to y, right? And after the deformation, what happens, the distance got increased from x to y, then z. Here it is x to z, right? So when the length is increased, then the rock will definitely thinner, right? So this is how it is taking place. So due to shear folding, you can expect only thinning of rocks, and there will be no thickening of rocks. Okay, is that clear? And the third one is the flow folding. Whereas the flow fold is similar to the slip fold. The difference is that the slipping plane are infinitesimally close, because in the earlier fold, that is called the shear fold, you can see the displacement plane, that is the fracture plane, right, which is quite a small distance away. Whereas in terms of flow fold, you cannot see such a definite fracture plane, all are very close. So how it behave, like it will behave like a laminar flow of a liquid. And this is the best example, that is the salt dome, because this salt dome is tending to move up. The reason is that the density of the salt dome is less than 2.5, and the rocks which are here will be having a density more than 2.5, and due to the density contrast, the low density rock tend to move towards the surface. And such a slipping, that is such a flowing of rock, is called as the flow fold. And this folds, that is salt dome diaper, is formed due to the flow folding. So these are the three possible cases. Let us see the difference between them once again together. The difference are, the flexural fold is the competent bed remain the same thickness, right? Whereas if there is a plastic rock, that is an incompetent rock, then there will be a thinning in the limbs and thickening in the hinge. Whereas in terms of shear fold, what happens? The slip plane may be visible, and due to the drag of bed may be stretched and become thinner near the shear plane. Okay, so you can expect the thinning of rock in the shear folding. Whereas in terms of flow folding, the thickness of each bed is not constant. According to the position, the thickness may increase or decrease. Okay, so these are the main three categories of mechanism of folding. That is what we had seen. The first one is the flexure fold, where the layer parallel compression is taking place, and according to the rock's competency, the rock will behave. In terms of shear fold, you may see that the force is acting perpendicular to the layer, and there is a displacement, that is a minute fractures are there. And in the third stage, the rock behaves like flowing, so that is called as a flow folding. Okay, is that clear? If you still have any doubt, just mention in the comment section, that I can clear you in the comment itself, or I can even make a special video for that. And those who are interested to join the WhatsApp group, they can mail me, that I had mentioned in my previous video itself. I did the same video in Tamil, that you can check in my playlist. And I have grouped my videos according to the category. You can also connect with us by mail, Facebook and Instagram, and these are the links. You can also support us by like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.